And now, Journey to Success with Pete Asmus. Tonight, mindset to action steps and everything in between. We are about you, focusing on what you need to get to that next level. So get ready, get excited, because we are about to get started. From coast to coast, your host, Pete, the visionary pitbull, Asmus. All right. Hey, welcome everybody. Today is February 22nd. It is Sunday night. I am your host, Pete Action Asmus, and this is Journey to Success. I want to welcome everybody because tonight we're starting a brand new series, right? Last one that we just finished was the first book that I wrote that is out there right now. Everybody can go get Force Your Dreams into Reality. This series that we're about to go through is the next book in that series, which is Questions Are the Key to Unlocking Your Reality. It is almost done. The book's already been proofed and everything. I'm just getting the finalized cover, and I'll show you guys a version of that later on. And then it will be ready to go up. So just a few more things to get done with it, and it'll be ready. And then I'm on to working on the next book. But what we're going to be talking about today, and really in this whole series that I'm really excited about, is we're going to be talking about communication and how that really applies to us achieving and consistently getting the results that we are looking for and really reaching success, right? And we all have a different definition of what success is. How much money that really means, what kind of cars those are, what kind of houses we're in, and all that else. Everybody has their own specific map of what that looks like. The problem is a lot of us don't really fill in that map. We don't put together a path to actually get there. We hope and we rely on other people or other things to really kind of come and save us. I think that's really a big part of what a lot of us feel. We feel that if we were to give everything that we have, every time we do, we don't get the results we want. How many of you guys are listening right now that feel like, man, every time I go after something, every time I give everything I have to something, every time I try something new, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And therefore, I'm not made to be a success. I'm not made to live in that kind of lifestyle. I'm not made to have this. And it's almost like we reject ourselves from that because we have failed X number of times. We feel like that's the only landscape that's left. We feel like, man, if I've failed that many times at this, like everybody else says, right? Like there's a point when I've got to look at this and say, okay, this isn't working. And really what it is what you're doing isn't achieving the right results, right? It doesn't mean that the strategy doesn't work. And really, when you dig down, there's a ton of different strategies to reach any goal, right? We can walk, we can run, we can get a bike, we can take a car, we can take a motorcycle. I mean, there's so many ways to get from point A to point B. But a lot of times, we get trapped in this one vehicle. And that's the only vehicle that we can somewhat see as our way to get there. And because we keep failing in that vehicle, we think, well, I guess it isn't made to be for me. And so part of what we're going to be talking about tonight is about how to really understand what it is, not only that you want, right? But what it is that you're really willing to do to achieve it. Because anybody can have whatever we want. We really can. It's are we willing to put in the work to get the result that we're looking for? And I feel like a lot of times it's not that we're not even willing to put in the work. We don't understand the work involved, right? And then when somebody goes to tell us, if we look for a mentor, if we look for somebody to help us, the reality is at this point, we don't even bring any value to the table. So what are we going to be able to offer to be able to get really good advice and be able to get the kind of mentorship that we want, right? Because what we really want is we want somebody to be our friend. We want somebody to be our partner. We want somebody to help solve our problem, right? I mean, at the end of the day, isn't that kind of what we all want? We want somebody to help solve our problem. And one of the things that I've really started realizing recently, right? Probably in the last few months, even though I've said this before and I've said, we've got to take responsibility, the reality is, even when we're shouting that, a lot of times we aren't taking responsibility. How many of you guys listening right now can think of multiple times last week that you could have taken an opportunity, but it looked like it was too much work? I didn't want to take the call because I wasn't in the mood. I didn't feel like it. I didn't this, I didn't that. There's always going to be a reason why we don't reach that next level, right? But the question is, really, what are we willing to do to make our dreams come true? That's really what this all boils down to. At the end of the day, what are you willing to do? Are you willing to get outside of your comfort zone? I've said that before, but it wasn't until I started scheduling call after call after call over this last month and a half that I've really started to see some major things happening. And this is going to be interesting for all of you that are starting right now on this chapter 1. Wait till we get to the end in 10 weeks and see what happens over this next 10 weeks just in my life. Follow that. But in the same time, follow what you want to do as well and see where you end up in 10 weeks, right? By starting to do some different things. And we're going to talk about some of those things tonight. One of those things happens to be communication. All right. What is communication? What is it really? A lot of us, we feel like, well, I understand communication. Communication is when I talk to him, when I listen to the radio, when I listen to this, when I watch this. It is. But communication also has a lot to do with how we talk to each other, right? Or how we talk to ourselves. And a lot of times we don't understand that we are our own coach, right? When we give advice out to other people, it seems so easy to give other people advice and look from the outside in and go, okay, I see what you're doing wrong, and here's what you can do right? What a lot of people don't do, and one of the things that I do is I look at what I've done. I look at my life. I look at my actions every day, and I hold myself responsible. I hold myself to a higher level, right? And I will go, okay, well, what are you doing? And what do you really want? Are you getting everything out of life right now that you deserve? And I'd ask you guys the same question. The answer is yes. Now, a lot of us don't want to hear that. Well, what do you mean yes? What do you mean I'm getting out of life what I deserve? Well, you are. You're getting out of life what you've put in. And if you think, well, that's ridiculous because I've given a lot more than I'm getting back, let me tell you, there's good, there's great, and then there's this little tiny definition between great and excellent. And it's all of the energy. It's all of the work. It's being on all of the time. It's allowing people sometimes to walk over you and not looking at that, not getting caught in the action of the battle, but looking at the overall focus of the war, right? What are you really engaged in? What do you want? Why don't we start focusing on what we want our end result to be and working backwards? But we don't do that. We go, well, what do I want right now? And then we chase it. And then what do I want right now? And then we chase it. And then what do I want right now? And then we chase it. And that's where the whole shiny objects, that's where the whole really unfocused you is, right? You're walking around, you don't know where to go. You're, oh my gosh, this looks cool. Oh my gosh, this looks cool. Oh my gosh, this looks cool. I want to make money here. I want to make money there. I want to make money here. But you're going in all these different directions instead of focusing everything in one direction and saying yes to a very few amount of things and saying no to a lot. See, a lot of times, I guess one of the things that I didn't really understand was putting the cart before the horse, right? And to me, it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, if this makes sense, you run with it. But I started realizing that there's a reality that we have to live within, right? And we have to be able to do something extremely well and be able to stand on that platform before we can help anybody else get up on it. And trying to build out a platform that nobody can stand on because it's unstable makes no sense at all. But in some ways, that's what I was doing the last year and a half. I wasn't looking at certain aspects that I should have been, right? But here's the thing. Without going through experience, you're never going to know any of that. So many of us are so afraid to start because we don't know anything. We're afraid to start because we're going to make a mistake. We're afraid to start because, man, what if they laugh at me? And what if they laugh at me? And what if she makes fun of me? Or what if I do it wrong? Or what if I fail? Or what if I do this? Or what if I disappoint them? Or what if I disappoint them? And the reality is, as hard as this is, who cares? Man, life, it only happens once. You don't get to redo it. You don't get to go back and go, man, I should have taken that action. I should have taken that opportunity. You don't get to do that. The only way to live life is in full color. The only way to live life is right now, is to take opportunities and go after them. But we sit back and we are so afraid that we will do something wrong. We actually prevent ourselves from doing anything right. The flip side of that is those of you that are afraid that, man, what if it goes right? What if I get a yes? What if I get this? What if I get that? Oh my God, then I won't know what to do. Oh, then it's going to be too much. Oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out. Forget it. I just won't do anything. How many of you guys do that? Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, you just start to freak out. You stress out, and because you don't know the answers, you stop. What I'm telling you is the only ways to get to know the answers is to actually go out and do it. It's to get engaged. It's to actually go through the experience. And man, if you trip and fall, it's okay. It's okay. Get up. Because it's going to be all of the tripping and falling that's going to create the you that can skate through anything. It's going to be all of that experience that creates the you that knows what to do in a given situation. It's going to be the you that got hurt that's going to know what to do in a situation to prevent it in the future. But unless you go through these things, you're not going to experience it. Look, how many of you guys taught your child how to ride a bike? What did you when they fell, did you go, okay, you're right, forget it, let's stop. No, because you knew they could do it, right? You knew they could ride a bike. Just like you know your children can walk, right? How many children don't end up walking that don't have anything wrong with them, right? Let me just so I don't get any dumb comments. But none. Every single person walks, right? All humans walk. It's amazing. But they don't do it at first. At first they crawl. And some of them do the army crawl, and some of them crawl backwards and push backwards, right? They do it wrong. How do they end up walking? How do they end up walking if they did it wrong at first? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how it doesn't matter how you start? It matters how you finish. Most of us, if we do get started, we never ever follow through, right? We get started, we get all excited, and then all of a sudden here comes the work, and phew, we get all excited, and then we got to do all this tracking, and oh my gosh. It's so weird. I know that there's two different types of people out there. I know it. I just don't understand it. Because for me, I start things. I mean, I really do. I have no problem starting things. One of my challenges is finishing them, right? Is following through, is staying that test of time. And a lot of my issues prior to this were I never actually gave myself a timeline. I didn't say, okay, well, I'm going to do this for X number of months, and if it works, then great. If it doesn't, I'm stopping and moving on to something else. A lot of times we find these timelines through trial and error, right? We look back and go, holy crap, I've just wasted 2 years of my life. All right, time to stop doing this. Oh my gosh, I just wasted 6 months of my life. All right, time to stop doing this. We do everything in retrospect. We do everything reactively, not proactive. We're not charging towards the issue. We're constantly kind of putting band-aids on everything and hoping that it doesn't fall apart long enough that somebody can come and save us, right? That somebody can come and, eventually somebody will find me. Somebody, I'll get this, or I'll get that, or somebody will give me the right job, or somebody will this, or somebody will that. And the reality is, that's never going to happen. The only way that you're going to find the missing piece, the only way that you're going to see where you belong is to get out there and engage and experience and fail and fail and fail. Fail to the finish. Really, fail to the finish. Fail to success, right? Because that's really what it is. It's a ton of failures littered all the way up to one big yes, to one big home run. But it takes all those steps, all that practice to be ready for when it'll really count. But most of you don't want to practice. I don't have time to practice. You don't write your goals down. You're not aiming your ship anywhere. You're just hoping that you don't run into any rocks. You're not practicing. You're not talking into the mirror. You're not making videos every day. You're not focused on how you can get your business to the next level because you don't see how it's a benefit. How is me making a video every day going to help me, Pete? How is it going to help me? But yet, when you start doing a video and you've got 30 seconds to do your video, and in that 30 seconds, you have to state what your company or what you are all about. Do that for 30 days, and I promise you, in 30 days, your 30-second pitch is going to be on point. It's going to be dialed. Not only that, because you're watching it over and over again, you're going to start to see stupid things that you do that make you look dumb, or that make you look unreliable, or that make you look whatever, right? And we all do them. We all do things that aren't right. We all have weird tics or twitches or this or that, or we say words over and over again, or we have these idiosyncrasies. We all do. All of us. The only way that we weed them out and we only keep what we really want is to practice. It's to look back in that mirror and see what we're doing. But a lot of times, if we're in a mirror, we're conscious. When you're looking at a video camera, you can't see what you look like, so you talk. And that's when you become real. For me, I'm looking at a green line. So I can't see me in the picture. I can see through my peripheral vision, right? I can see a blurred vision of me in the screen. But if I go to look at me in the screen, now I'm looking at me, but I don't see. It's not like I'm looking at you. And for me, the importance is the connection. That's why I do the videos when I do these. Because every Sunday night, I want to be able to connect with the people that are tuning in. All of you guys, I want you to see not only the way I say it, hear the inflection, but I want you to see all of the other things that go along with it, what my facial expressions are, because that's all part of communication, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight. All right, so questions are the key to unlocking your reality and focusing through the fear. That is the title of the second book that I've written. That's also the title of this series. This series will be, I think it's 10 or 11 webinars long. And every Sunday at 6 p.m., as long as I can do it, as long as I'm around, I absolutely do this. The only time I don't is when I'm on a plane, or obviously if there's not internet service around me that I can't do it. So that's that part, right? We have a challenge. Everybody that's part of these goes and becomes part of this challenge. The challenge really is aimed at focusing you on writing your goals. So every night you write down your goals, you post them, you don't post them, it's up to you. I honestly, at this point, it's I don't care if you post them or not. What I care about is that you write them. What I care about is that you see the results from them, right? And what I know that is when you write your goals every day, you focus on those results. You focus on what you're writing because you're thinking about it. So we send you an email every day, basically saying hi and telling you something else that you can focus on, giving you a little word of encouragement and all that type of stuff. So definitely check that out. And you can go check it out at c2crea.com/21-day challenge. And I love it because in that, on this screenshot, you can see you must be willing to shatter who you are for who you want to become. And that's so true. That's what the goals are all about. They're all about, look, shattering who you are for who you want to become. All I mean by that is make decisions based on who you want to be rather than who you are right now. Base decisions on who you want to be, not who you are. Don't drive looking straight down at the ground, right? How dumb would that be? How do you not get in an accident? When you drive, where do you look? You look ahead of you. You look into the future, right? I mean, that is what you're doing. Whether you think like that or not, you're looking into the future. If you're driving that direction, that means in the future, you're going to be there, right? So if you're looking into the future when driving, why wouldn't you be looking into the future when living life? Right? But we don't. We look backwards or we look where we are. Well, look where I'm at right now. I'm not lucky. Look, I don't have anything. I don't have this. I don't have that. That's focused on where you are. Well, look what's happened to me in the past, right? Last time I did this, you did this. And last time this happened. And this always happens. And this. That's a person who's looking in the rearview mirror. You cannot drive a car. You cannot drive your life looking in the rearview mirror or looking straight down. The only way you can look is forward and not get in an accident, right? And not die. So start living your life looking forward. Start living your life focused on where you want to go, not where you are. Base decisions that you make every day off of who you want to be, not the person that you've become. Did you hear me? Base your decisions off the person that you want to be, not the person that you've become. Because the person you've become probably isn't the person that you want to be, right? And that person is going to make different decisions because those decisions get those results. So if you're not getting those results, you're definitely not making the decisions to get those results. You're not putting in the work and effort that get those results. If you want to be an actor, you can't sit in your house all day long and hope that somehow, some way, somebody is going to come by and knock on your door and then go, oh my God, I'm a producer. You'd be perfect in this. We were looking for somebody who's never come out of their house. Is that you? That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So don't live your life hoping for results in an environment that will never produce them. Okay? Don't live your life hoping for results, living in an environment that will never produce them. All right? So, what does that really mean then? Where are we going? Questions are the key. Well, the first key is going to be, what is communication and how do we really define that? How do we define what that is? A lot of times, well, here we go. I'm gonna define the way I define it. The transferring of an idea, emotion, the transferring of an idea, emotion, or concept, right? And for me, there's really three different versions of that. There's your verbal, nonverbal, and implied. Meaning, if we go to Cancun at spring break, right? We can pretty much guess of some of the behavior that's going to happen there. That's going to really be implied. I mean, you got to understand what you're walking into, right? Then you've got verbal, where you can hear me talking, And then we've got nonverbal, where you can hear the tone in my voice go up or go down, right? You can see the actions in my face, or you can feel the intent by the way that my body is, by the way I hold my posture, right? Am I really closed off, or am I laying back, relaxed, like, hey man, I could care less what happens today, right? How do I look? That's gonna be part of the communication. Because if I'm up here and I'm excited, and then I get really quiet and I get close and I get intense, that's going to have a different feel than if I'm back, right? So communication has a big play. And it's funny when you talk about verbal and nonverbal, the best way to do that is thinking about a dog. You can sit there and go, come here, puppy. I'm gonna punch you in the face, right? And I'm gonna kick, whatever you do. I don't want to say those things because I would never do that, but you could say those kind of things, right? And the dog will come up running and wagging its tail. You could go, I love you. Come here right now because I love you. And you could do that, and the dog's running away scared. Why? Because it has nothing to do with the words. It has everything to do with everything else. Your tone, your posture, the face, everything, right? How you say things. And where nonverbal is so important and is really one of the most relatable things when it comes to engaging with outside parties, when it comes to talking to yourself, when it comes to really all verbal communication and success has to do with you. So to me, the most important form of communication is verbal, because you talk to yourself 100 million times a day. You're constantly talking to yourself, and you can talk to yourself on two different planes. You can talk to yourself in this voice, and then you're also thinking in this voice subconsciously. So you're constantly communicating with yourself on some level. The problem is, most of you are communicating horribly with yourself. Most of us are saying, we're not good enough. Most of us are saying, we'll never make it. Most of us are saying all of these defeating words and these defeating concepts. And so we never, ever make it outside of first gear. We never make it outside of the fortress, outside of the wall. We never get anywhere because we're constantly holding ourselves back. And then we say, well, no, I'm not holding myself back. You're crazy. I want this more than anything, Pete. I want to be successful so bad. And in your mind, you're going, it just never happens for me. I just never make it. It just never works. It just never this. It just never that. It just never that. But out loud, you're saying, but Pete, I really want it. I really want it. Too bad it never happens. I really want it. I wish it could happen someday. I really want it. But I'm never going to have it. And that's what we think. And then the mind, it's a beautiful thing. The mind will back up whatever statements we make over and over and over. Do you know why songs are so amazing? Because they will literally hypnotize you into having thoughts. They will start to mold the way you think. That's why, really, when you start listening to inspiring music, all of a sudden you start kind of walking around, you're like, yeah, you're right. What am I waiting for, right? Nickelback's What Am I Waiting For? Brilliant song. And the question is, what are you waiting for? Right? What are you doing that is holding you back? What are you waiting for that is keeping you from getting where you want to go? I thought I had that too. I got to get that. What am I waiting for? Because I think that's a great one. I think that song, and in that song, actually, they even talk about it. He says, at some point, you've got to take a chance. Everybody has to take a chance. When are you taking yours, right? And I guess I would ask that same question. When are you taking yours? When are you going to go for it? What are you waiting for? Some of you are 30, 40, 50. What are you waiting for? What are you hoping is going to change so drastically that your life is finally going to be better? How many times have you said in the past, boy, as soon as I get past this, as soon as I get past this, as soon as I get past this, it's never going to get better until you make it better. not anybody else. Nobody else can make this better for you. Nobody else can fix your problems, and nobody else can solve your challenges. The hardest thing that anybody is going to have to hear is that you're going to have to go through the pain. You're going to have to go through the challenges, and you're going to have to figure it out on your own. We don't want to hear that. We want to know that somebody's going to come and save us, and the reality is there isn't anybody. Even if people want to come and help you, all they can do is help. They can't do it for you. They can't solve your challenges. Those are yours and yours alone. They can give you the tools that you need to overcome them. They can support you when you fall. But they can't walk it for you. And this is what I mean by that. Let's say that you wanted to get in shape. All right? Let's say that you're overweight and you hate being overweight. My gosh, man, you want to be in shape so bad. You want a six-pack. You want to have a six-pack. And maybe for some people that's like, whoa, that believe me, I would love to be straight up and down again and not look like a ball, right? So whatever your vision of how you would love to look is, all right? Let me tell you a simple fact. If you burn 500 calories more than you take in, you will lose 1 pound of weight. If you take in 500 calories more than you burn, you will gain 1 pound of weight. It's simple arithmetic. It is what it is. 500 calories equals 1 pound. Now, with that said, if you get up and you walk, say, for an hour every day at a 3 speed, a 3 like level or whatever on a treadmill, you will burn right around 500 calories a day, which means if you did the exact same thing that you're doing right now and you started doing that, you would burn 500 calories a day. And until your metabolism leveled out, you would keep losing weight at 1 pound per day, right? But you have to do it. See, I've walked an hour a day, an hour and a half a day for the last 2 years, 3 years. I've went from 260 pounds to 160 pounds. So I know what it takes to lose the weight. And I've done it. Now, I can tell you what to do, but did that make any of you lose any weight right now? Is anybody in shape more after hearing what I said? No. Why? I gave you all the information. You now know what to do, and I did it. So how come you don't have the result? Now, that sounds crazy when I say it out loud, right? And you guys are thinking, okay, well, that's dumb. Of course we didn't, because, you did the working out. But how many of you think that way mentally about success? You want somebody to give it to you. You want somebody to hand it over to you and say, here you go. Here's success. There you are. But that's not how it works. You have to put in the work to get the result. You have to walk the mile every day to lose the weight. And most of you are looking at that 1 hour of cardio and you're thinking, I don't have an hour. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have this. And instantly you go right into what the challenge is, why you can't do it, not why you can. For me, it wasn't until the can'ts fell away and I was able to actually move into the positive direction. It wasn't until I stopped worrying about what I couldn't do and started worrying about what I wanted to do. I wanted to be alive for my children more than I wanted to eat like crap. I wanted to be able to walk around in Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm with my children for more than an hour, more than I wanted to not get up at 6 a.m. and go to the gym. Once my wants started overcoming my excuses, I got results. But for a lot of you, those wants haven't overcome your excuses. Your excuses are mountains, man, and you've been plotting these bad boys for years, right? Are you kidding me? Do you know how long I've told myself I'm stupid and can't do this? Do you know how long I've told myself, well, my metabolism is just too fast, so I guess I just can't lose the weight? How many of us have said that? Oh, it's just, you know what? I got older, and as I got older, right, I just kind of got fat. That's just what happened. Well, when you get older, your metabolism slows down. No, when you get older, you stop doing shit. That's what happens. When you get older, you stop walking everywhere. You start driving. When you get older, you don't want to do this, and you start paying other people to do it because your mom and dad isn't telling you to go mow the lawn or go take out the trash or go do this cleaning or go do this or do that or do this. Now it's you sitting on the couch eating Fritos, right? And going, I don't understand. I guess it's just because I got older. That's why I gained all this weight. It's not. You gained all that weight because you changed the way you ate and you changed the way you exercised. You changed the activities that you did. When those changed, spontaneously your metabolism slowed down. That was so weird how that happened. Let me tell you, you want a magic pill? Here's your magic pill to speed that bad boy back up. Go get on the treadmill for an hour a day, and I promise you, your metabolism miraculously will come back to life. It's amazing. By the way, stop eating all the crap and junk food, and all of a sudden your metabolism will start getting quicker as well. Now, here's the downside to that, right? You start eating healthier, and now all of a sudden you're hungry more. It is. You know why? Because all that crap that you eat takes so long to break down, it stays in your stomach for longer, which keeps you full longer. That's why Snickers satisfies, because it goes in there and stays there, right? But an apple, that goes in, out. And then in like 30 minutes, you're like, man, I got to eat again. But that type of eating, that speeds up your metabolism. Because your metabolism isn't going, oh my God, I'm never going to eat again, so I'm going to hold every single thing I possibly can because you're starving me, right? There's so many things that we do to completely ruin our chances of success. Well, my credit just sucks. So then we just drive it into, who cares if we pay that? Credit's already shot anyway. Oh, who cares if that's late? Who cares? Right? And then you're so far in this crevice that you look up and you're like, man, I'd never get great credit because all these things have happened. Here's the thing. If you want great credit, start fixing it now. Start making decisions based on a 700 score, not based off of a 500 score. Start paying things. Start focusing on what you really want and how you're going to achieve it. Life is just a result of what you consistently do. If you don't like your life, start doing something different. If you don't like your life, create something different. Here's the bottom line. You are the missing piece to someone else's puzzle. You are. There are traits, skills, and things that you have about you that there is definitely room in the world for you to share that. There's somebody that will pay you for those skills that you have. But if you don't get out there and network, you're never going to find those people that would do that. They're not going to come and knock on your door. And I promise you, if you're working at a job that you hate, it is not what I'm talking about. You are not the missing piece in that puzzle. If you don't like your job, you're not really working to your full benefit, right? So find what you're passionate about and create that missing piece. One of the things that we're going to be doing is right here, the REI Summit, right? The REI Summit is going to be a 2-day, I believe, event that we're going to be putting on in June, a couple months away. It'll be happening in Phoenix, and I cannot wait for it. It's going to be an awesome event, showing you guys how to flip at auctions, cash flow, notes. I mean, just all kinds of stuff to really take and elevate your game, to really fill in that missing piece. Because the reality is you are the missing piece, right? So find it. What can you do to create value? How can you show somebody else what you can do, right? Because so many times we are looking for how we can get benefit, how we can really create value, well, not create value, but how we can get paid. Instead of looking at how we can create value, and watching the getting paid part happen. I'm not saying you don't have to plan it, but I'm saying the first thing out of your mouth should be worried about how you can add value to the relationship, the connection, or whatever it is. And then focus on once you've added value, how do you work into that? How do you create your part in that deal, right? And then as promised right here, Force Your Dreams into Reality. That was the first book. Second book that's about to come out. I'd love to hear what you guys think about that cover right there. Questions are the key to unlocking your reality. And then the third book over there that I'm going to start writing here very shortly will be, man, I don't know why I'm having creating unbreakable habits to becoming a unmistakable success. Because I think that once you get past the asking questions part, the next thing is creating these habits. So many of us, we just don't want to create a habit. We're so, even as much as we want change, we want to change even less, if that makes sense. I think that was kind of unique the way I worded that too. I actually like that. But as much as we want change, we're afraid of change. We're afraid of doing something different because we don't know the result that we're going to get. And again, that goes back to experience, and it goes back to just being able to really try and do anything. Believe in yourself. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today, listening to me tonight. I appreciate it. As always, if you're ever interested in anything, if you're looking at, I'm actually going to be starting a more of a consulting type of company. Last week, me being out in KC, I realized just some of the contacts that I have. And so if you live here in California and you'd like to get together, I would love to meet up with you and see what I could do to help bring your business to the next level. With that, though, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, without you, there is no us, because you put the why in our success. Have a great night and go make something happen. Make sure that you write down your goals. Make sure that you do everything this week to move towards those goals and really reach that next level of you. You guys are amazing, but you're only amazing in your mind when you can see it. So see past the stars and reach the moon. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you this week. Have a great week. If you're going to be in San Diego, going to be at the Note Summit on Thursday and Friday, going to the Ascend Expo on Saturday and Sunday. Hope to see you guys there. Have a great night and go make something happen.